I believe. Yes, okay. Recording has started. See, Rebecca Graham, why you have to do for me what you have to do. It just doesn't come easy sometimes. So what we're going to be covering tonight is what do you need to know, like to be paid as and to move to the next level. We're going to talk about perk of rank, all the different perks that you receive as a new leader. We're going to talk about really how to engage with your upline, what you should do, but remember, you don't have to do. You are a leader. We're going to talk about your own personal business development, and we're talking about training and just a few tips at the back office that might help many of you. So first off, when we talk about what do you need to do to continue to be paid as a team leader and move to the next level. So to be paid as a team leader, and I'll go ahead and remind you that one of your perks of rank, which we'll be talking about in a minute, is a $300 gift card, which this is a temporary, this is not part of our compensation plan. It's a temporary promotion. But I believe the better we do with it, the better chance that it could become a long-term part of our compensation structure. When you're paid 3 months in a row as a team leader, before the end of the year, so you have October, you promoted, that counts as one. Okay, if you promoted like Joni, I know promoted before that, and she's on pace to get her $300, but the month you qualify is month 1. So you already have 1 month, so if you're paid as a team leader October, November, December, without missing a month, you're going to receive a $300 gift card as a bonus in addition to all of your other compensation that is part of our compensation structure. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Now, what do you need to have to be paid as a team leader? You need to have exactly what you had to promote. You need 3 personally recruited, active, write that word really big, active chocolatiers. You need $600 in personal volume and a total of $1,500 in group volume, because your personal volume does count towards your group volume. Okay? Now, I'm a real believer that if you want to be successful in this business, and I believe you're here tonight because you want to be successful, that you will not run your business on minimums. If all you ever do is try to hit the minimum, make sure you get paid, I'm just going to be honest, it's a miserable existence. It's kind of like running a marathon and you really hate running, but you're just going to do it, and if it's the walk or crawl, you'll get to the end. You want to train to be able to run and enjoy, right? Remember, those of you that know me, I'll never do that, but because I don't enjoy it, I'll do something else. You want to never just focus on the minimums. That's how people, if you want to use the word fail, that's how you fail. You use that as a guideline as a beginning. So when I talk to you as a new team leader and forever, and my managers that have joined us today can back me up on this, I'm a true believer. You take those 3 minimums and you own them yourself, meaning you have 3 new recruits every single month. You have not just $600, but go ahead and get that $1,500 on your own. You do that every month. You don't have to worry about it. You get to work towards abundance instead of working in fear of missing a minimum. And that's how you really grow in this business. Now, the reason I said write the word active in really big letters is because there is a huge misunderstanding amongst many people between the words active and qualified. So write this down. Active equals compensation plan. Okay? Qualified equals promotional activities or incentives, whatever you would like to call them. The reason I say that is because A person, the definition of active is to have $400 in a rolling 3-month period. So since you promoted in October, chances are either 1, 2, or all of your recruits came in October. So they have to have $400 in sales in a rolling 3-month period. Well, October, we only have 1, so we automatically make them active because there's not 3 to look at. November is month 2, and it does not matter if they came in on October 1st or October 31st. If that word October is in their date, that was their first month. Okay? November is their second month. They get an automatic qualification in November. Or active, sorry. They get to be automatically active in November. So anyone you recruited in October is still active in November. But to be considered one of your 3 active chocolatiers in December, they will need to have a total of $400 in sales between October, November, and December. Does that make sense to everybody? So then in January, they need November, December, January to be 4 months. And in February, they need December, January, and February to equal 400. So that is what the word active means. Here's something else. You can be active and not qualified because someone can miss that 200. And here's another thing. Well, let's say this afterwards. Somebody might miss their $200 in their first 45 days, and they're not what we call qualified for their whatever. But they can still be active. But you can also qualify with $200 in sales and not be active at the end of that 3 months. Because if all they did was $200 and qualified, that doesn't mean they're going to be active. And that's really important. That's a big part of your compensation, is to have those active chocolatiers. Another way to keep it straight in your head is if you've noticed, for Maui, they have to have $500 in their first 45 days. Well, you can't change a compensation just whenever it suits your needs, but you can change a promotional requirement, right? You can make up promotional requirements different for everything we do. They don't have to match. But our compensation program is a structured program that doesn't change. So 3 active chocolatiers that you personally recruited. Second piece of that. If I call you and say, we had a home office recruit come in and I would like to assign them to you, that is a personally recruited chocolatier because they didn't have someone else recruit them. So you do get to consider them as personally recruited. But let's say 6 months from now, one of your personally recruited leaves the business. So whenever they leave, they had someone under them and they roll up to you so they could be on your first level. You still didn't recruit them. You get paid on them as a first level, but they don't count towards your 3 active personally recruited chocolatiers. I know I'm spending a lot of time on something that for many of you may find really silly, but let me tell you, this holds a lot of people back because they get confused. And I don't believe in leaving money on the table. Remember, y'all always hear me say, Mr. Mars has billions and billions. Let's take his money and not leave it on the table. We can leave it on our own table. So take his money. Don't leave it over a silly little miss like that. And here's the deal. If you're always recruiting 3, remember the first 2 months they're always active. You never have to worry, and you'll never worry in your career because as a senior team leader, you need 4 personally recruited active, and as a manager and above, you need 5, and it never goes higher than that. So if you're doing 3 every month, you will always have at every level what you need. If you always take that 1,500 that makes you a team leader and say, I'm going to hit it, just go ahead and might as well do 1,600 so you get a 5% bonus. Don't leave that $80 on the table. You're always going to have your personal sales volume minimum, because as a team leader, it's 600. A senior team leader, it's 800, and a manager's 1,000, and it never goes higher than that. So why not create that habit of 3 personally recruited every month and $1,500 in personal volume and never worried about it again? Don't y'all agree that's just smart business? So that is what you need to do to be paid each month as a team leader. Okay? You'll also, one of your benefits is there'll be special training opportunities. You're going to be invited to President's Leadership Conference. Yes, I saw Rebecca bought her ticket today. Some of you are fortunate enough, like I bet you, Jennifer, I bet you're close enough to Nashville, you wouldn't even have to fly, would you?
No, I can drive.
And Pamela definitely can. And let's see, who else do I have on here? Sean probably could. He's in Atlanta. Jody definitely can. Lily can. You lucky ducks. So the rest of us will be flying. You don't want to miss this. Every one of you that promoted this month in October, you're going to be invited to a very special breakfast with John Wyckoff. So that's another benefit. Now, I will tell you, if you're looking to grow your business and grow it big, and you think manager is in your future, I'd highly suggest working really hard to get there by January. And it is possible, isn't it, Delana? You did it in that amount of time. Because there's going to be a special manager retreat that starts the day before. And I can't say we've got great things planned because I don't know what they are, but they're always great when we do them. And they're even paying for your extra night of hotel. So, good thing to get promoted. So I just thought I'd put that little bug in your ear. Keep in mind when you're setting the pace for your team. So goes the leader, so goes the pack. About 90% of your chocolatiers are going to do less than what you do. Every so often, you're going to find a hot shot, right, Rebecca Mason? And many of you on here, you've found hot shots. But that, Rebecca, if I put her on the spot, and takes a long time, doesn't it? I remember Cindy Wagner and I were just talking the other day. She goes, don't you, because for those of you that don't know, Cindy and I were Tupperware managers together. We've actually known each other 26 years. We actually shared a limo on our first trip 25 years ago in Hawaii. Isn't that funny? Because she was there alone and I was there with my husband. And we all shared a limo from the airport to the hotel. It was pretty funny. So, I forgot what. She was saying the other day she's working with someone new, and she goes, I think I found my Cindy Wagner, meaning it does, because it's very hard to find that person that wants it like you do, and unless you're not setting the pace. And let me just tell you, the lower you set it, the lower they work. It doesn't mean you're going to find more that go above you. Delana Woods, you've been in this business a long time. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not to say you can't take time off. Rebecca just had 2 amazing months back to back, and she was in Canada part of one of them. But that's because she's been developing her team at a level of expectation that they know how to perform. So keep that in mind. Ask yourself often, would I love, like, if my team was doing what I'm doing, would I be a happy camper? If you're not showing up to that one party a month, you're probably not going to be a very happy camper. Get to know your team's parties up. I know, Jennifer, you said you really liked this today, learning about the team up calendar. And what I shared is if your manager has one, you can actually use with them and have a different color. This is another one of those things, though. You don't have to use theirs. You can have your own and start to create that own thing. You can give each team member a different color when you're young. as you promote leaders, if you'd rather do it that way. I believe Delana has that with her first line leaders. They have different colors. I think, Rebecca, do you and Abby do different colors? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we do. There's like a 10 maximum that you can have.
When you have 10 leaders, you might need to ask some people to go on and get on their own. That wouldn't be a big problem, though. I know that Angie does. So I don't know all of your upline leaders and managers, but even if they don't, I suggest you do. And it's just teamup.com. And if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. No one even taught me how to use it. But it's great because you can't forecast your business to your next level if you don't know what's going on. Now, just as I need to be really blunt, not everybody's going to put their parties on there. I saw Vanessa O'Rourke today. She's getting prizes. Every day when she welcomes her team on her team page, she writes out who has parties and says, let's all wish so-and-so and so-and-so good luck tonight on their parties. That's a great way to get people to want to put them on there. She said, and so-and-so won our drawing. So she was doing like surprise drawings. Another great way to get them in the habit is when they're brand new and you're working with them after kickoff to quick start and you've challenged them to get 8 parties on their calendar with their 8 coupons. Every couple of days, just call them and say, who have you booked your party with? Oh, I'm going to put that on our calendar. Let me show you where that is. We do recognition from there. You can teach them from the beginning the importance. You're going to get so much more out of it. Again, I need to say this over and over. You're never going to have 100% of your people do what you want them to do. And if you do, you're too small. You might get it when you're tiny, but it's a numbers game. So it's very hard to get 100%. I'm looking at all who my managers, Rebecca and Delana are both on here. They're both managers, both have big teams. They would be big lying people if they told you they had 100% of people do 100% of everything they asked them. And I know neither one of them would lie like that to you. But you know what? In their case, if you got 100 people and 75% are doing it, I always tell people I'd love to have 100 chocolatiers selling $200 a month. That's $20,000, right? Then you have a few heavy hitters and a few medium hitters, and you're blowing and going. So it's a good thing. Okay, perk of rank. I mentioned the $300 bonus. That's a really big deal because it is a short term and you've got 3 months to do it. So don't miss one because at this point in the game, we only have 3 months left. Now, if you have people on your team and they promote either in November or December, they get to play. But they also only have 3 consecutive months. Because some of you may have heard if you missed a month, you still could try again. That was only earlier in the promotion. Now we only have 3 months left. So October, November, December, $300. When you become a senior team leader before the end of the year, that means you be a senior team leader, you need 1 team leader promote. You need $800 in personal volume. You need 4,000 in team volume, and that new team volume is part of your team volume. Okay, so you need 800. They need 1,500. That's 2,300. Then you just need another 1,700. It doesn't matter where it comes from, and you need 4 active chocolatiers. And your team leader, if they're your personal recruit, they still count even though they're a team leader. They never don't count. They could be a director and you could be a team leader and they still count. Okay, you never lose those personally recruited people no matter how high they go in the career plan. You're going to love that when you start seeing your paychecks add up. So if you promote to senior team leader by December, so let's say you promoted this month. And I know that Kay's over there listening at Jennifer's house. So I'm gonna use her as an example because I know Kay's doing Promote with Passion right now with Cindy.
And I just promoted November 1st, right?
Well, you get to call it October. So October, even though it doesn't roll on our calendar completely, October was your first paid as month. You're going to get, because you qualified in October, this is the other cool thing about our system. It's really weird. As long as you hit it all, which you did, you get paid as a team leader for October. You get all the benefits of a team leader in October.
Okay, so I was promoted October.
30.
So I have October, November, December.
Yes. Yes. You, Pamela, Rebecca, Jennifer, Nikki, Lily, and Sean, and Joni's in her second month. So when you get, so let's say let's say Jennifer, you promote Kay and you become a senior team leader in November. So October and November, you definitely were paid as a team leader, right? But you're also paid as a senior. So October, November, December, you could get that 300. Well, November, December, January, you get to double dip. So you can be, if you go to a level above, you get to double dip. So November could count as senior and team leader, and December could count as senior and team leader. And then in January, you get paid as senior, and you get a $400 bonus. So there's $700 on the table. Pretty exciting. That's a lot of money, especially ask Rebecca and Delana, because they didn't ever see those bonuses. They weren't existent for them. So this is a really new and exciting thing, and it's a very large payout. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? That's a big perk of rank. You're going to get your team leader necklace. You're going to get a goodie envelope from me. I literally just finished stuffing them, sealing them. They'll go in the mail tomorrow. It'll have, one of the things it'll have is your team leader jacket to go on your pin. I'm also sending you a really cool, here it is, Dove Chocolate Discoveries blinged watch. Sean, I'm sending this to you because the two guys I have right now, they actually wanted it. I didn't know if it would be too feminine. They both said it was okay. If you get it and it's too feminine, you let me know and I'll send you something else, okay?
Sounds good.
I actually put a little Post-it note in yours telling you that. But
how many guys are active in this business?
I have no idea, but I have a manager and a team leader in my region. So you're my second team leader.
Awesome.
David Catano is a manager in Florida. Michael Friedman is a team leader in Oklahoma City, and now you. But there's lots of men that do it. That's just the team leaders and above in my region.
Okay.
Okay? All right. You also now, I don't know if you've noticed when you go to your website, you have access to the leader training portion. And there's additional training. There's we have team meeting outlines for you for every month. Now, here's the cool thing. You don't have to use December's team leader training in December if you don't want to. You can do December's team leader training in February if you want. It's just like a library. But what we've tried to do is kind of consider the time of year, and from all our history and experience, we all pitched in and wrote them, you know. We need to kind of know the cycles, and so we've done that. But you don't have to. If you live, like Rebecca Graham, since you live close to Rebecca Mason and Abby, I would encourage you to do your team meeting with them. There's something about the synergy and the excitement and that type of thing. However, there's nothing wrong with doing something on your own at times also. You might want about once a quarter. You may not even give up what they're doing. You may go to that, but maybe once a quarter or every other month have a little team brunch or coffee. So you're starting to build within your own team also. I know y'all really like each other, and I think everybody else on here likes who they're with too, but yeah, there's sometimes going to be personality conflicts. And it's okay not to do your meeting with your team leader also. Whatever, here's the thing. I had someone tell me, I've actually had 2 people talk to me about this in the last 3 days, that they're doing things with either people under them or below them. And when I asked them those, I said, but is that really what's best for your business and your paycheck? Because I could hear, I was hearing what they were really telling me. And in both instances, they wouldn't say no. They just kept saying, well, but I don't really want to break that off. And I said, okay, let me just say, or you get to decide if you're going to let someone else control your paycheck. But do always take care of you first. That is so very important. I suggest not bothering getting it, and I don't mean this rude. If your upline manager has a good team page, you probably don't need to spend the time there yet. I know sometimes it's really beneficial to use that. Like I remember Melissa Borland's team, she's up in Pennsylvania, wanted their own Facebook page and their own name. They wanted to name their team. And Melissa told them she made up some story. This isn't true, but we're not allowed to do that till we become a manager team. And she used that to drive her team. And they wanted to be a team so they could have their own Facebook page. And actually, there's not even the page. They just wanted a team name. So you're going to learn what turns your team on. She could have named her team the day she became a chocolatier if she wanted to. We don't have a rule. There's no way we could make that rule. If you can find like free things like that cost you nothing, that'll drive your business, go for it. I highly encourage it. All right. So when you're going to be invited to team leader training, and by the way, they will be making a change where it says there's a $75 registration fee. That will no longer, they are going to be eliminating that fee, and all team leaders will get that automatically. So you will no longer pay the $75 registration. You could earn it in Fast Track, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But they have eliminated that. So those are some of the perks of Rank. Engage with your upline, with your FDM, with your side leaders. Some of you I know I've got kind of this kind of crazy, incredible Promote with Passion group going on right now. And I feel like there's some relationships almost bonding in there. Share information, because there's going to be people on there that you relate to. And quite honestly, you're not going to relate to everyone on your team. If you do, you're not casting the net broad enough. You should have people on your team that you don't quite get, or they're not exactly your personality, or you're limiting the growth of your team. So cast that net wide. We can find people, for people to work with. Be an ambassador of the brand. Okay, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to try to say this very diplomatically. For example, I have a personal Facebook page, and I have my professional Facebook page, and I do not interchange them. So if you're on one, you're not on the other. Why do I do that? Because I have adult children that might put something out there that's not as becoming as I would like it to be, if I'm quite honest. They have friends that might. Sometimes I talk about things that aren't relevant to the business. I have high school friends. Now, I'm one that I block anyone that uses foul language. That's just not my gig. I don't want to read your nasty, dirty mouth. However, they don't intermingle. Because as much as I want to build a relationship with you, we are still business partners. And we need to have that respect. If you're not going to keep them completely separate, or you're only going to have one, please be highly aware of what you put out there. Today, I have read some messages on Facebook, not on the DCD page, but on people that are part of DCD that I've accepted as friends, to my DCD just because of me. And I went in and blocked them today because I thought it was that inappropriate. That had nothing to do with DCD. It had nothing, wasn't on the DCD page. It was on their personal page. However, it was rolling through my news feed. And I just want you to know, you are an ambassador of this company, and everything you put out there is a reflection of you and your business. I don't care if you swear like a sailor in your own home, but a true professional doesn't put it out in writing on their Facebook page. I hope my faith comes through in messages that I give, but I'm not going to talk religion or politics. I just had an instance real recent with someone I thought I know super well in the business. And we were talking, and she said something, and I thought, boy, am I glad I've never expressed my political view, because hers was so far different. And I still can't believe it, because I thought I really knew her, and I thought we were on the exact same page, and I thought we thought just alike. It was completely different. And you don't want to ever put a barrier. And as we get closer to election time, things can get sticky out there. Just be careful. So just, I'll get off that. But remember, you're an ambassador of our brand. You're an ambassador of our company. Lori's pet peeve. Are you ready? Lori's Facebook pet peeve. Is anybody else getting all these errors on our Facebook page, on our VCD site? I got a broken bottle of barbecue sauce. What am I supposed to do with this? Never. Not one person on Facebook can fix that. Not one. Only go to the source. Remember, especially if you have one thing and you're putting that out there, and all your friends and contacts are seeing that. They don't know that we have less than 1% damages in our business. Less than 1%. The industry standard is 2.7%. But if my friend sees your post, they're going to think we have damages all the time. So, email field services, call field services, they're the only one that can fix it. If you're having issues on the site, I'm going to tell you, yes, our system is not perfect, but do you know that 9 times out of 10, in the end, it's user error? 9 times out of 10. Yeah, we have issues. I'm not saying we don't, but 9 times out of 10, it's user error. Even if you know you're putting the right zip code in, it's not usually our system. It's done between your bank card and the postal service that they don't reckon. It's not our system. So that's my pet peeve. I won't go any further. I think everybody's got the hit. And if you're in my region, don't be surprised if I personally call you out. That's how big of a deal it is to me. I'm just telling you up front. So, I actually did that one day. I just said to someone, I said, now, why don't y'all give field services a call, because I don't think there's anyone on this site that can help you with that problem. I wasn't real mean, but they knew what I meant. It just isn't necessary. We're gonna be the most professional group out there, and hopefully they can't tell the difference between any region, and every group is that way, because someone else can hurt your business. All right. Let's see. Okay. Personal business development. Make sure your voicemail is personal. It's very professional. I know children are cute, but when I'm calling a business, I don't want to hear your kids sing to me. If you need to have 2 phones, have 2 phones. Now, I will say, if you want your child to sing, that's your business, but remember, it's a reflection of your business. If your child is singing, that probably says this is a hobby to me, it's not a business. And that's okay if you're okay with that projection. It's just like I tell people, if you wear jeans, flip-flops, and your BCD conference shirt to a party, you're probably going to get a jeans and flip-flop crowd. If you want a professional crowd, be professional. I'll tell my story. I tell a lot. I'm not a real fancy dresser, even at fancy things. I'm kind of a casual, but I always try to be, you know, I've got on my necklace, I've got on my earrings, you know, that kind of thing. I try to be, I'm put together. I guess that's the right word. Always be put together when you're representing our company. But I have a friend who is, actually, she was just like the cover girl and all over Tupperware. I think it was their last catalog. Her name's Judy Doherty. Judy was raised in a very, very poor part of West Virginia and had nothing. And she has done extremely well. Probably makes $500,000 or more a year. And probably more now. But Judy, when she would go to parties, she like, you know, suits and hose, and she was a makeup artist. She always had that sparkly eyeliner on, but that really was Judy. And her hair, you never had a hair out of place. And I asked her one day, I said, Judy, because I knew she was like me. She lives in Houston. And there's some very wealthy areas, and there's some very, very poor areas. Y'all, I've held parties in homes with holes in the floor, literally holes in the floor. My best story is I held a party in a home and a horse walked through. A literal horse walked through the house. So, I mean, I've been in all kinds, but I've been in $10 million mansions also. But most of the time, I had the better parties in the hole in the floor than I did in the $10 million mansion, in case you're wondering. They liked free better, so they worked harder. So anyway, I said, when you go to a really low income area, do you still dress like that? And she said, I do. And I said, do you not think it sometimes like kind of intimidates your group? She goes, no, because I'm able to tell them where I came from and what I have. And if I don't dress like this, why would they believe me? And I thought that was very powerful. Now, you will never see me in a St. John three-piece suit and super high heels and hose and glitter eyeliner on when I go to my parties, but you will see me. You will always be able to pick me out of the crowd as the one that is there to do business. And that's what I encourage you as well. And it does not make you unapproachable. Your personality does, by the way. All right. Let's see. Common sense. If you're having an issue, only talk up. Don't even talk sideline. So once you become a manager, quite honestly, having an issue, you really probably shouldn't go to your upline if it's a real issue. You probably should go to your FDM, because now you're kind of at the same place, and you guys are there to, you know, John's favorite saying is high tides? No, some tides lifts all boats.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Rising tide lifts all boats. When we get to that same level, as a manager and a manager, you pretty much are the same. Even though they might have recruited you, you are now peers. So go to a higher level, because they've got this whole group coming to them. They don't need basically a sideline at that point. Use us. That's what we're here for. I have really tough skin, and I have really broad shoulders. I can carry a lot, and I can take a lot. You're not going to hurt my feelings. If you do, you won't know it. I'll cry later. And it'll probably be personal, not business, okay? So don't worry about it. You're not. I want to be there for you. And also remember, in your building of relationships, you are here to build relationships with your team. You do not need to be everyone's best friend. You will never build. I know someone that's really struggling at another company in my role. And the reason she is, and I've told her over and over, is you're trying to be their friend instead of their leader. Now, you are going to become friends naturally with some people. It just is going to happen, right? However, you don't need to be going with, I need to be everybody's friend. You need to build a relationship. I shared this on one of my group calls this week with my Promote with Passion group. What is the difference? John Wyckoff and I have a great relationship. Cindy Wagner is my friend. So I would tell Cindy if Mitch, my husband, pissed me off. But by the way, he's never done that in his entire life. He's absolutely perfect. If you believe that, let's talk later. I got more to tell you. No, but he really is a great guy. John would know why my son was moving to Mexico, but he probably doesn't know he went today. He doesn't know that I burst into tears when I got in the car when I didn't get to hug him goodbye because of the security situation. I would never call him and tell him that. But he probably needed to know he was moving to just know that, hey, there might be some days Lori's out trying to help him get his stuff done and that type of thing. That's what a relationship is. Relationships is about knowing an overall about people, maybe how many children they have, a little bit here, a little bit there. A friendship is a person that you get on the phone with late at night, or and you talk about just personal. You will have deep friendships in this business. Just don't try to make them with everyone. It just makes it too hard. All right, training. If you've not participated in the FDM Kickoff to Quick Start, I really encourage you to put that on your calendar just to see what is offered. It is not because it is better. In fact, it's probably not better than what your upline leader and manager offers. But here's what I want you to know. It's a great backup plan. But you need to know what we're saying. I know that Rebecca's used it, and I know that Delanna have both used it. I know that Abby uses it, and I know that Abby gets on the call when she can. I know, Rebecca, you've done the same thing, just like you guys are on here tonight. It's not to replace you. It's a backup plan. Ideally, you are doing that training with them. I was talking to a director, actually, a few days ago, and we had this same discussion. She was like, I thought about just not doing mine anymore and just using yours. I said, no way you're not doing that. No way. That Kickoff to Quick Start is your best opportunity to build a relationship with your team. However, if you have somebody that can't do it on the day you do it, this is an option. You give them your day or our day, and they're going to have to figure out one or the other. We can't just, be at everyone's beck and call. But you do need to get on it to know what we're saying so that you can support it. And if you're at home that day or night when they're doing it, jump on with them. It shows a partnership. When I call your new recruits, I think it's really important that I reach out to every new recruit in our business. However, I'm going to be honest, I think I called 17 or 25 out of like 150 or whatever we had. I'm way behind for October. But I want to tell you what I say to them so you know in case you didn't get the call. I don't think Rebecca Graham got it because I think I met her in person. I do remember calling, I'm going to call you Kay, Jennifer, just because every time I hover over you, I see Kay. I reached her so she didn't hear my message. Some of you can remember and some I can't. However, what I say is, hi, I'm going to talk to you as if I'm leaving a message. Hi, this is Lori, and I am calling from Dove Chocolate Discoveries. I'm the field development for your area, and I see that you live in Missouri, and Missouri is part of the Bravo region, and I just want to call and personally welcome you. Let's say I'm talking to Pamela, and I say, and I know, Pamela, that your upline leader and manager, Angie, is going to be there, and she's your first point of support. However, I also want you to know that myself, along with all the other associates at Dove Chocolate Discoveries, are here to support you if you aren't able to reach her. We're an extension. You're going to be receiving an invitation on Monday to a call on Tuesday called Kickoff to Quick Start. If you haven't had a chance to do that with Angie, or you would just like an additional perspective, please feel free to join us. So I am supporting you and the recruiter first. I don't want you to ever worry that we're trying to get people to come to that. I wish we had to eliminate it because no one was coming, because it was all being handled. However, quite honestly, it's not. And it is nice to have a backup plan. Because you can say, I do Kickoff to Quick Start every Monday night. I say, well, I have class every Monday night, and no problem. You can either do it at noon Central, 1 Eastern, or 7 Central, 8 Eastern, Tuesday night, which would work best for you. So it's a great backup plan. I know some of you use it always. You don't do your own and you just partner and come with them to ours. That's fine too. However works for you, but you want to be using that. Or doing it your own way. I don't want to do it one-on-one because I want you recruiting more often than that, and I want you working smarter, not harder. If you've not done Promote with Passion, I highly encourage it. For those of you that aren't in my class right now and you did it earlier, I apologize because I think I found a little bit better way to do it. And I think, as we all learn, I found some new things that I really, really like. That I'm doing in that class, and it's become really great. And if you have done it and you want to do it again, you're welcome back. If you can't do it when I offer it, you can do it with another field development manager, but I'll still put together a small group coaching so we can build a relationship. I don't do a lot of individual trainings. If I see a need, I put one in, but I know most of you do enough of your own, or your uplines do. Participate in all company functions. Make it a priority. Again, if you want to grow and you want to make money, make PLC a priority. Make team leader training a priority. Make national conference a priority. I know some of you promote really quick and you can't go like the next month. You have a full year to take advantage of team leader training. Now the registration's fee, the room's free. All you've got to do is get there, and I'm about to tell you how you can earn some of that cash for free. So real quick, because we're running out of time, and I've got another call. This is Fast Track. Now, this might be a little confusing, because remember when I said month 1 of your 3-month bonus was October, is the month that you promoted? Fast Track is not that way. November is your first month of Fast Track. It starts the month after. So, you need to know that Fast Track is, I'm sorry, let me just, I never do this. My son just arrived in Mexico and he keeps calling me to tell me. So I just had to go, I'm on Zoom. So he knows what that means. I'm done now, sorry. I just thought he's going to call me to because I said, call me when you get there. Month 1. And here's the second piece of this. Each of these stand alone, meaning if you ever miss one, so right now, write this down. Month 1 is November. Month 2 is December. Month 3 is January. Month 4 is February. That is not going to change. You could miss 1, 2, and 3, do number 4, and you get paid on number 4. It's not a miss one, be out, but it's also not a miss one and try again. So it is a 4-month program, but each month stands alone. Does that make sense? It's real self-explanatory. I'll explain month 1. Then the rest you can just read. You need to sell $1,000 this month. You need to have 1 personal recruit, but you're going to have 3 because that's what we do in the Bravo region. You need to have group, you're actually going to sell 1,500. You're going to have group volume of 2,000, and your 1,000 counts. And you need to have 2 new group recruits, and your personal counts in that. So you can have 2 or 1 and 1, however you get it. When you do that, you earn $100 in Coco Cash, which you can use, by the way, to pay for PLC registration, which is really nice, or conference registration, or buy supplies, or give it to your team. You get free registration for team leader training. Actually, you get that free anyway. I don't know if they're replacing that with anything. And then you get this really cool Tervis tumbler with a cocktail shaker for your martinis, so you can make them ahead of time and they'll stay cold. Now, as I said, each one stands alone. However, there are some consistency. So you'll see on month 2, it says earn month 1 and month 2. You get $50 travel reimbursement for either team leader training or to use for that. If you didn't do month 1, you could still get the $125 in Coco Cash in the logo bag. You just wouldn't get the consistency piece. Okay. Then there's a form. I sent it to you. You fill that out. You send it in after you've completed. So this is a little confusing. Your recruits have to qualify. So if you bring in someone on November 20th, they don't have to qualify in November. They still, remember, qualify as a promotional term. They have 45 days to sell 200. So when they qualify, it might be December 28th before your second one qualifies. It's not complete till the recruits are qualified. So I would never go in with just 2 recruits, because if one doesn't qualify, you're not going to know it till it's too late to put another one in, right? This is a very healthy program, because at the end, you can end a $500 bonus. Really nice money. I've ran out of time. Quick things. If you don't, there's just 3 little quick things I want to tell you. When you're in your back office, make sure, if you're not computer savvy, look across the top. There's lots of tabs. If you want to see how people in your team are connected, you want to leave it in the tree volume. Tree in a tree. So that's going to show that Rebecca has Rebecca. And then to be able to see who's under Rebecca Graham's, or either one's going to have to click on a little plus sign, and then it's going to open it up, and then she's going to see those 3 people. And if one of them has a plus sign by them, it means they have someone, and you click on them, and it drops it open. And that's how you see it. I live in a list view. It works for me better, and the reason is I use it a lot to export from. So you don't, a lot of people I've found have been dragging email names and that type of stuff, or they've been creating distribution lists that they have to keep up. If you go into, when you go into that, immediately hit on the drop down, click list, hit the button, let it go into a list view, and that's going to give you everyone in your team, but they're not going to have them like who they're connected to. You're not going to know. Then there is above that, there's a tab that says expand all. You're going to click that, and what that's going to do, you can't see it, but it is pulling the information from that little box when you click on the square, or you click on, and it tells you their address, their phone number, their email. It's, when you do expand all, it's pulling that information in. Then if you go to export, and it has a drop down and go to all rows. When you drop, it'll drop into an Excel spreadsheet. And if you're working on a Mac, I learned this with Joni, you need to open Excel for Mac before you do it, so to drop it in. Otherwise, it's going to say it doesn't recognize the program. But if you already have the program open, it'll just drop it right in. And then what you can do is it'll highlight the entire thing, filter it. You can click and you can just grab, or you don't have to do that because it's just your team. I keep forgetting that. I do. You can just grab everybody's email list every time you need to do an email. It takes 2 seconds. How many of you knew how to do that? Just a couple. It's funny to me that a lot of people don't, and those are the kind of things that I'll continue to share that will save you time.
Can I ask something really quick?
Yes.
Can I verify my address with you? Because I want to make sure, because I think you've sent things and I haven't gotten them.
Okay, hold on. I don't know if I have that window. Oh, let me see. And then I got to jump on my next call. Jennifer?
If not, I can text. I'm having a hard time with people understanding my actual mailing address.
I just had something returned back from you.
Yeah, that's because you got the wrong mailing address. You probably use the Hunter's Trace.
It's whatever's in our system, so we need to.
I have a mailing address and I have a street address, and it has to go to the mailing.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go into the back office, and Delana could probably help you with this, and just change that, because it's always going to pull.
Well, they have it right. They have my mailing address and my shipping address. I have 2.
Right, but what's on your website page, so like when I click on you, it has the Hunter's Trace address.
That's not right. Yeah, that's not right.
So Delana can show you where, if you want us to be able to pull that, so it goes to your shipping address,
Yeah.
She can show you how to do that.
Okay, because I know you said you were going to send something in the mail, and I'm like, if you're sending it, I'm not going to get it if you've got the wrong address.
I will go pull it right now until I get. Will you just email me or text me your correct address?
I'll text it to you.
Oh, and Delana's holding up what she got back from you.
Yeah.
Get back to-
So email and text us. I've got to jump off, but thank you guys. You were a great call. Rebecca Graham sent me the new recruit email template. I'm going to send that out to Promote with Passion. If any of you would like what she uses, just send me a quick email or a text, and I'll send it to you as well, okay? Call me if you need me. Sorry, I've got to run. I usually have Q&A time. Hopefully, I was thorough. Did you guys get enough out of it?
Yeah.
Great. All right, I'm signing off because I got a different Zoom I got to sign into. It's a different address. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Delana, do you want my address?
Yes, but she's getting ready to disconnect me, so text me.
Okay. Okay.